I just want to thank everybody for being here. This is it's been difficult with COVID because of the fact that we can't really gather for a funeral yet. So I'm hoping that you know, barring everything and good weather, that once everybody comes up from Florida, that we can gather together maybe in the early summer for a celebration of life and church service for Mom. Essentially, this is just a time to remember her. I mean, she was I'm biased because she's my mom, but she was extraordinary. But we all have probably Yvonne / Baba stories that will help with some of the healing. And I thought maybe if you wanted to share them afterwards, we can one by one just tell a story or recollect a song or something that makes you think of my mom. So anyways, McCallum, I'll just leave it to you to start airing this video, and we'll take it from there.
Right, so Darren and Maggie, I assume you guys have the video file ready to go?
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, so this song, for anyone who was at her digital birthday this past year, was originally something Maggie and I worked on to write for her birthday. And she wanted a recording of it, but I didn't get around to recording it. So we changed the lyrics a little bit, kept the chorus the same, and Maggie kind of provided the background, and I just know how to make things rhyme. And then we gathered a bunch of photos, mainly through Niall and a couple scanned off Facebook, and just kind of put it towards that song. So hopefully you guys like it and appreciate it. I will share my screen. And here it is.
Can you unmute? Or,
huh?
Sorry, mute us.
Oh wait, hold on. I gotta make sure. No, I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. I gotta make sure I'm sharing the actual audio share sound and not our computer audio.
Right out the gate, she tempted fate, and always defied the odds.
Hey.
She grabbed her Peter, who was so pleased to meet her, and together they placed their faith in God. After some years, 2 kids they reared, and one of them was a surprise. Watching them grow to have children of their own brought joyful tears to her eyes. Some called her Mom, some said Yvonne, and some people called her friend. Some called her sister, and others called her Mrs. Oh, Baba, give, on you we could depend. She'd offer you a bickie so you wouldn't leave too quickly, and her baking was truly quite divine. Even if you didn't want to eat, she'd have food there waiting every time. The biggest heart inside a tiny frame. She'd have you over for tea or fun and games. sister, and others called her Mrs. Oh, Baba, give, on you we could depend. Not many people who have walked this earth are quite as deserving of a song. And our memories will just have to do for now while you are gone. But you're not lost, for we know just where you are, waiting on the other side. Patiently you're preparing the party for when we each arrive. Some called her mom, some said Yvonne, and some people called her friend. Some called her sister, and others called her Mrs. Oh, Baba, on you we could depend. Some call her mom, some say Yvonne, and some people call you friend. Some call you sister, and others call you Mrs. Oh, Baba, give, we'll miss you until we meet again.
Oh, cute.
So if there's Maggie had to leave because the baby was starting to get noisy. But
Hey,
for those who don't know, the Gib part comes from the first time I was going over to meet Baba, and I couldn't remember Baba. So I said, "What do you call your grandma again? Gib?" And then when we told her that, she fully embraced that name. So we've been calling her that ever since. Anyone who wants to watch that again, obviously, Peter, I think, is recording this, but I have a YouTube link. So anyone who has the link can watch it. Otherwise, it's a private video, but I'll put that in the just in the comments of the Facebook group for the invite for this. So if you wanted to go back and watch it again or anything, then it'll be there accessible for you.
So I know the next plan was to go around and share stories. Does anyone have a story that they'd like to share first? If so, either just jump in, unmute your mic and jump in, or raise your hand or something. If anyone wants to go first, they can. If that's a lot of pressure, I can go because.
Did I see Trevor's hand go up? Or was he just
Oh,
readjusting?
no, I was just seeing if anybody could see me or not.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we can
My
see it.
apologies.
No worries.
I have a lot that I could say about Aunt Yvonne. She's the most wonderful person in the world, and she's always been kind to everybody, and always never had a bad word to say about anybody, and always blessed me up that I can sing and play like nobody tomorrow. But that's not the case. But no, she's a wonderful woman. She will be missed by many, and God bless her, and God bless you all, really. But I'm just happy to be here to be a part of this. anybody else can take over. I'm terrible with words.
I would like to say the very first time I met Yvonne was up at the house that was Durham's in Meadows. And I remember thinking, I have never met such a positive person in my life. Every negative became a positive in her estimation. And to this day, I carry it, because if I feel negative about something, I'll say, what would Yvonne say? What would Yvonne think? And that is a precious memory that I carry with me forever.
I'm sorry. Not only was she my aunt, she was also my godmother. And one of the very fondest memories I have is she made arrangements through Amanda to have me go out and visit her right after my 50th birthday. And as always, she had prepared the most fabulous lunch with all the sweets, a cake, and everything else. But not only that, she gave me 50 presents that day. Not large things, a couple of things from her china cabinet, a harmonica. Little did she know that I never did learn to play the harmonica. I didn't. I'll have to get you to give me some lessons, Brenda. She gave me a little pillbox. She gave me a bookmark. Just all those things, but each and every one of them was wrapped individually, and took me probably an hour to unwrap, because we would laugh about each one, or what. One of them was a little battery operated fan to put on my desk at work. Just the cutest, sweetest things, just like she was. The last few years before COVID, my family went to visit her on New Year's Day, and it was always, the few times we went, it was such a special day too. And my grandkids still talk about the wonderful meals that they had there, and looked forward to going. I could go on and on, but I won't. I'll leave it for somebody else to have a turn. You have no idea how much I'm going to miss her. I guess actually you probably all do.
Did anyone else want to go?
Oh,
Wonderful.
Lord. In a moment. I know since I was a very young kid, maybe 6, 7 years old. She was a big part of my life. I know from a scrapbook in the business company. We had so many great moments. Some toughest. I remember, was it on 11th Avenue when you live on 11 or 12? I think 11, right? Yes.
I know the beautiful house that you guys had. Oh, then you guys moved on, I think it was 6. And we lived at 2 houses, 1 house apart from her, and it, it was awesome to walk over there and visit with PJ and Nario and Peter and everything else. It was great. Dan, Dan, this is so, I keep thinking about it. Was it you guys got the hotel and the house, well, not house, but the office and all that, all one, and then little grocery store, corner store right across the hall, not hall, highway. And guess what? We had the roof. We got the house right above the hill. We could see the house, the big house too, and then in the hotel and the grocery store, all right there. So we moved right close by again. We had so many great memories, visits. I know, so Susan, by Will, we would laugh so hard. We would really pee ourselves. We laughed so hard. One moment, the other friend, she was waiting, see how much I weighed. Her name is Sharon. And she was down onto the floor trying to see how much I weighed. I laughed so hard, I could not turn, and I keep wanting to say, will you get on and will you quit still so I could see how much you weigh? I couldn't speak. I tried to get off, but she said, Twin, would you quit doing on my head? That's not good. I said, Lord, she was laughing, we all laughing so hard. She helped me so much. Since the day I met her, she only that she had a special school called Juniper, and it was great till the government shut it down. I hear it, but she helped so many people with disability. We went, she helped a cook, didn't even enlist me on sports, swimming, on and on. And there's a time when we got older, she in my foster mom, Irene, we had so much great times with her, and she even helped me with my brain. And one of the songs I remember now, you had it and I had it, and I ran called Ben. I love that. I love that song. It's always been with me. And it's what I was going to say before I be quiet here. But she always be like a mom to me. And thank you very much for all the things that you did for me. And thank you for all the great memories. I always have you in my heart. and into my curve or something. She always pop in my mind and different things. So I love you. You always be in my heart. I can go on and on, but I won't. So that's my sweet women. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you so much for that. That's I think it's a lot of good stories coming out today, and glad to hear that so many people have such fond memories. Did anyone else want to go? Anything come up in their minds?
There's a lot of things that I could say about my mom, but one of the stories that really stands out in my mind is the fact that my mom was the two things. My mother was a very eclectic dresser, we shall we say, almost sometimes bordering on eccentric, because some of the things that she wore were very loud or very unusual. And the other thing my mom had was a very accepting heart. She loved people, and she looked at their value on the inside, not the outside. So where I'm going with this is my mom was always dependable. And I was about 8, 9 years old, and I had wanted to take my dog Chan for show and tell to school. And so the plan was that she would bring him to me at recess, and I would take the dog and then show him for show and tell, and she would hang around and then take him home. Now, first of all, my school was probably a good 3/4 of a mile from home. And it was a very, very cold Vancouver Island day. The rain was very sleety, and so she bathed the dog, wrapped him all up, brought him to the school. And I could see her on the other side of the fence waiting for me. But the only problem is that my mother used to wear this mustard yellow hat that she had found in a church, a box of material that she bought from the church flea market. And it almost looked like fun fur. It was all yellow, and it had a band on it, but when she put it on, it made her look like a clown because the fun fur looked like hair. And I used to hate that hat. Oh, I couldn't stand that hat. And I remember seeing her standing there with this hat and stuff, and I pretended I didn't know her because I didn't want the kids to think that, this clown was my mother. So I waited for the school bell to go, and everybody ran in, and I kind of ventured over to the fence, and I picked up my dog. My mother never usually had a lot of harsh words to say to me, but I really got it that day because she was told me about how disappointed that she was that I was allowing people's ideas of what people looked like on the outside to determine how I interacted with them. So that is one thing that always stuck with me, is the fact that it was again, typical of her, dependable, but at the same time, she didn't let that one go by, and I'm glad she didn't. It was, but every time I think of her, that's often what I think is that one incident, because it sort of set me up for the rest of life in trying to look at not just at the person on the outside, but to love them from what they are on the inside.
right.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
That's good. No offense, sisters, the three of you there. Yvonne's cooking was a hell of a lot better than yours.
Well, you better remember your last meal with
She made the
me.
best. You guys are no comparison, especially fish and brews and spaghetti. And she was my adopted mom.
No.
Yes. She was a lot better than you guys. Hell of a lot
Yeah,
better. She's a lot better than you'll ever be.
she was.
But I really miss her so much. But I'll get to sing a song for her when I come back.
Okay.
I'm working on it. And it's so nice to see everybody there.
Yeah.
Even the guy with the headphones looks like some freaking helicopter guy there. Anyways, Peter, I love you, man. You're my second daddy too. Maybe the first one. I love all you guys.
No, I've
Well-
got a lot of memories of her, but
Don't cry.
I'm trying.
That
But
goes for you, Bobby.
I can't see her.
I can.
But my first thing I think about was when I was young, she took me to the fair. I was only about maybe 3, but I remember it.
A long time ago.
That's a long time ago. Yeah.
You're very old
And-
now.
Yeah. And we went to a booth. We had little pictures taken, the black and white picture in the little booths they used to take. And no, I remember that, and the rides, and it sticks in my mind, but I just miss her from calling her. She was always there. She took a lot of my secrets with her. Thank God. She took a
God knows you had a lot.
I did. No, when I was feeling down, I called her and she picked me up, especially after Mom left. But she's up there with Mom and Dad now, and the rest of the family. And I'm sure they're all enjoying her. But I miss her. I love you guys. That's
Just
it.
want to pop in there quickly. Brianne said she's going to have something she wants to read time when you guys have your celebration of life maybe in the
Yeah.
spring. I wanted to say that no matter what you were going through that day or how you were feeling whenever you had a conversation with my Aunt Yvonne, that you end up walking away feeling like you're on top of the world. She made everybody feel like that, and I'm really gonna miss it. Yeah, Graham said you should talk to her every day.
Yeah, I do still.
Still, yeah, she still talks to Aunt Yvonne every day. On her phone, she listens to, there's a message on her phone that she listens to as Aunt Yvonne's voice. She listens to it every day.
Mhm. Yeah.
Can I say something?
No.
I'm just reading in the chats. I don't know who iPad is on here, but it's from iPad to everyone. And I will read it because some of you might not know how to get to the chat. It says, I will never get through my story without crying. So I thought I would share my story this way. I was maybe only 6 or 7 when Aunt Yvonne, Uncle Peter, and PJ came home to Newfoundland. Granny Brake was living in Uncle Derm's house, and Aunt Yvonne made a Ukrainian dinner for all the family. I was at the kiddie table. And of course, as I sat there, and looked at my soup, trying to eat my soup, I ran to my mom and said, I can't eat my soup because it has teeth in it. Obviously, I was not introduced to barley yet. Then LOL. After I was told it was barley and not someone's teeth, I gladly ate the delicious soup. And I think that she has reminded me of that day many times. She was great. She was great at everything, and I will dearly miss her. Oh, That's Jill's story. Jill is iPad. That's really funny.
That's cute.
I also, just quickly, although I'm not quick at anything, as you all know, especially when I'm talking. But she also, I think, had such a way with words, such a way of sending you the loveliest card for your birthday or for just any occasion. And I try to emulate that when I send a card or to someone, or I'm trying to pass a message on, but I will never, ever be able to express myself the way that she did. I will try anyway.
How about my little older sister there? The best looking one. On the screen with the guy with the beard.
Oh, yeah.
Golda.
Uncle Bob's talking to you. Uncle
Hey.
Bob's talking to you.
Hi, Bob.
How are you?
Pretty good.
You look like a
You're
movie
looking
star.
good.
You look
He
like a
does.
movie star.
Yeah, she's all dolled up here.
Oh, yeah.
Zsa.
Yeah. You feeling okay?
to the clubs after this.
Yeah.
I can't talk, my voice is gone.
Her voice has gone right hoarse.
Mm.
You were singing too much.
Yeah, I think she's been smoking and drinking too much.
I know. Too many joints.
Yeah. That's why she's lived so long.
Right.
How about you, little brother? Have you got any?
Where is he?
Yeah.
Little
Oh,
brother.
you don't have
Judging
any?
by his mime, I think he's
There he is.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm a little too busy bawling my eyes out here. Thanks, everybody. But
Okay.
it's I just don't know where to start. Like, I'm actually sitting here trying to listen to everybody else's story, and different things are running through my own head, and there's so many. I don't know. I don't know where to start. I don't know how bad I should embarrass myself in front of everybody either. But
Go ahead.
3,000 miles kept a lot of stories quiet. I'll just say that. Just right now, I feel for Jill. I don't know if I can actually get through something here right now. Just give me a few minutes. I'll pick one at least. So.
well.
Anybody else at this point?
Who's a good looking guy beside you?
Oh, this baby face?
Yeah.
Looking good.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Peter.
He looks like Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood. Now there's a mom story right there.
Oh.
You know this one.
Do you want to share that one?
You go right ahead.
My
Never.
mother was telling me about this, that she didn't know what the world was coming to because now they're putting really filthy words on posters. And I said to her, well, okay, yeah, this was back in like the early 90s, right? So things were, people still didn't drop a lot of F-bombs and things like that around. So anyways, I said to her, what are you talking about? She said, oh, at the movie rental place, she said, there's this great big poster that says this filthy word on it. And she said, I won't say it, but I'll show you when next time we go. So we went by and sure enough, there's this huge poster. But I guess with my mother's eyesight. It was a Clint Eastwood movie, and it said Clint, but the L and the I were continuous.
Sounds like her.
Yeah.
Oh.
She knew how to tell some smutty jokes.
Oh, yeah. But she didn't like the fact that it was on a poster.
No.
That's it.
No.
Yeah.
And the other thing my mother, you never got her to do was to introduce people, because she often got their names mixed up. So there was a guy that worked with my dad up in when they were in Prince George, and his name was George Warham. And she introduced him at a party as lukewarm. Then there was another fellow that Dad worked with who's, I don't know if Dad remembers, his name was Hoy Yip.
Oh, yeah.
Hoy Yip, yeah, and she introduced him as Yip Ahoy.
Ahoy. We used to have the motel. It's the same thing. Dad was just even saying about it the other day. We used to have a gentleman there that used to come from Washington State, and he was Mr. Hamilton. And she used to reverse it all the time and say, yeah, Mr. Washington's here. Mr. Washington is here from Hamilton instead of vice versa. Yeah, it's funny. I think there's people whose lives she was able to touch even just once over the last 80 years that probably still have memories of her. I actually talk about stories. I came home one day from school, and it was kind of strange. All my friends had kind of, buggered off real fast right after class. Nobody was really hanging out, talking and ready to walk home. But I had to walk home from school. And by the time I got home, I noticed 2 backpacks in the entryway. And when I got into the house here, my mom had my 2 male friends at that on all fours drinking milk out of saucers. She had them pretending they were cats. We weren't 6 years old. We were probably closer to 12. And here I came home from school, and they're on all fours lapping up milk out of saucers. And I'm thinking, what the heck has just gone on? But yeah.
He was an
And
animal trainer.
I've got people still that, as I say, that I haven't seen them in 30 years, and they remember some of the crazy little things. Like Joanne, Dad was actually here. I don't know if he was half on the cry or half laughing when you were telling your story, because he's saying in my ear, he says, "Oh my God, remember the time they recorded the cat and scared the heck out of all of us camping?" So to give you guys a quick rundown here, Joanne, that sweet little face, her and her foster mom went and took their cat and drove it around town. And see, she remembers, and recorded this thing, because this cat could not stand being in the car. They used an old audio cassette recorder and recorded this thing for I don't know how long. But later on, about a week later, we all went as like Mom, Dad, and myself in a truck and camper, and Joanne and Irene and Dominic in their motorhome. And we went in some logging road in BC and parked at this beautiful, most beautiful spot, and spent the night there. And in the middle of the night, everybody parted ways. And in the middle of the night, all of a sudden, we're asleep in the camper. And
pardon me, but they were talking about.
Oh yeah, they were talking about cougars. They were saying about that there had been cougars sighted up in the area. And so we all kind of retired to our 2 spots. And the next thing you know, I'm getting folded up. If anybody has spent time in a camper, in the upper area there, you can turn it into a bed. Well, the next thing I know, I'm being folded up into it. with the mattress and everything, and mom locked me in. So I'm in this space that's only 2 feet wide by the length of me. And I can't figure out what the hell's going on. And meanwhile, all of a sudden you can hear this noise. It sounds like there's some wild animal outside the camper, and it's scratching on the door, scratching on the walls of the camper. Mom and dad are freaking out. Joanne's foster mom comes out of the motorhome with a flashlight, and she says, you know, what's going on? What's all the ruckus over there? And my mom and dad are screaming at them saying, geez, get back in your motorhome. For God's sakes, there's something out there. It's going to kill somebody. Get back in. Don't stay outside. Well, meanwhile, I can't remember if it was mom or dad decided they were going to open up the door to the camper, and they had a cast iron skillet in their hand. It was dad. And he came barreling out the door, and he went to smack this thing that was scratching on the wall. And meanwhile, it's Joanne with this bloody tape recorder. So he just about.
Yeah, so
just
well,
about-
Peter. Oh yeah, I remember that so well, Peter. That was great. Peter overcame it this far from
Yeah.
hitting me on the head. I went, yeah, it's me. And he was him. What are you doing outside? And no, it's me. There's nothing over here. Oh, I remember that so well too. Oh, we did have a very great time, Peter. That was awesome. I love that. I love that story. And we have pretty good memories here, eh?
Oh, lots.
I miss you guys so much.
Oh, we miss you
You know,
too, Joe.
You know, and you too. You helped me a lot, Peter.
Aw.
There's one time years ago, I take it over. Anyway, I go to the store, and there was at the time I don't know when it was, but they had apple crunch pop.
Apple crunch. Oh, yep.
Yeah. And I would go buy some, but every once in a while, Peter, go. Yeah, I'm paying. No, go. So Peter once in a while, he give me some freebies. Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much. But I was never sorry about PJ. There's
We got too many.
I know there's one, there's 10 years difference between PJ and me and my husband, Mike. So there's I'm right in the middle. And PJ, I don't know if I be, but you feel jealous.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
I think he was mad at Mike.
Well, no, I think that's where the whole private investigator, thing started for me as a kid. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was great. It was great. And Mike is not here right now. I say he's in the hospital.
Oh.
Nothing major. But if he was here, he would say hi to you all.
Oh.
He would PJ now, and
I just noticed on here, there's 2 more people that have put something in chat. I'll be the token reader.
Thanks, Juanita.
And this is from Megan. I'm with PJ. I can't tell a story without crying. Aunt Yvonne was so special to me. I'll never forget sneaking around the hidden passages in her house and going on adventures around her property when visiting as a kid. I will never look at an ornamental egg or a nesting doll without thinking of her. I will never forget visiting with her at my wedding, and I'm so thankful that she was there. I feel so blessed for the memories that I have with her. I was telling my kids all about our big, beautiful family this morning. So thankful. And this one's from Lindsay Philpott, who is my niece and her great niece. We used to go to Aunt Yvonne's and Uncle Peter's every New Year's Day for years. I loved her scrumptious meals and company. She always reminded me of my granny. Oh, I should have read this first. We always talked about making mustard pickles together and never got around to making them. Every fall, I would think about it. I will always remember how well she decorated during the Christmas season, and I now add pictures, Christmas cards to my Christmas tree, trying to replicate her fabulous Christmas tree on the second floor. I will miss her and her cuddles.
Lindsay.
And one more thing, I know if my Amanda and Paige are currently on a bus heading from Turku to Helsinki, Finland. It was quite a weekend for them, and I won't go on about that. But what I will tell you is that I know my Aunt Yvonne took some of Amanda's secrets with her to heaven. And I know that PJ can attest to that from a visit that she had with them out in Calgary. Amanda so enjoyed, it was the only time that she went out west, other than a few years later when we went for a competition for Paige. But she had the most wonderful time with the family out there. And PJ probably knows some of her secrets too, but we won't share them on here because she's not here to defend herself.
How about any of the grandkids? Any of the grandkids got some ideas? Bob, a story?
Do you want me to go ahead? Okay.
I'll go next after that.
So there's, again, it's to the point where there's so many different things and different memories between going when they had the camper when they first came out to Ontario and going up to the campground, and my grandmother had hula hoops there so that we could do things outside, because it was kind of difficult to really do too much in a camper when you're going and visiting. But we still had tea there. It was always, that was the main thing, is there's always tea time. Calgary, I just was thinking about this earlier about her chasing me around with the lobster head at one time because I really didn't like the way that the lobsters looked when I was like really quite young. And yeah, watching her disassemble the lobsters put me off, I guess, and kind of jokingly chased me around with the lobster head. But I think probably one that stands out for me though is the fact that she always put a lot of effort into things like Easter was always a big thing. The amount of prep work she put into it. She'd spend so much time setting up Easter egg outside the house and all through the yard whenever she was well enough to do it, and all throughout the house inside if she was having a hard time getting out with the weather. Just so much. Like, she always went above and beyond when it came to events, which again spilled over into everything else too. She was always heavily involved with the church, and it's amazing to hear how many people still talk about things that she did years ago, and how much it meant to people, especially things like when we did Vacation Bible School, and how many kids still remember things from when they were, they're now adults now, but they still remember things from when she was teaching them about stuff in the sections of the Vacation Bible School. So just there's this so much but to cover, but I feel like it's just for now I'm just going to jump around with a couple different ones like that. I just found that, again, Easters were always very special because of the amount of effort she put in. And yeah, just all the hard work that she put into it, between the meals, the prep work, everything was delicious. And yeah, it's always a special time. I guess I'll just let you go ahead and see if these two.
So I have a few memories of Yvonne, or as I call her, Baba, as well. I felt like I was pretty welcomed into the family really quickly and felt like I was a part of it. And part of that was because of Baba. So I think one story I'm going to share is the first time I actually met her, and Peter, or as I call him, Tato. And that was when Mac and I first started going out. It's pretty early on in our relationship. Mac decided that it was time for me to meet his mom and his grandparents. And it was at an event run through one of Niall's churches, Holy Trinity. And it was just an evening where food trucks would come out, and we figured we could sit down and have a nice meal and enjoy the summer weather. And as Mac walked me over, I met this wonderful little lady who had these big earrings that seemed to be one of her defining features whenever I come up for a visit, was some pair of fabulous earrings. I think that day they were just a beautiful blue. And she was so engaging and so kind, and was saying almost immediately, "You got to come over for a barbecue in Cayuga. Come on out. We'll have a little party." And yeah, it felt like she was such a wonderful person to talk to and so warm. And I'll never forget her. She was just a wonderful human being, and she did such a wonderful job with Niall and PJ and her grandchildren. And I can see with anyone she's met, she's left a very good impression. I think that's my story. Let somebody else.
Actually, I would say maybe I'll just steal right back on towards, because I'm just thinking about what I've been talking about earlier on yesterday about the time that we were working at the Grand Oaks Park, and that was, again, so in my mind now because of the fact that that was one of the first times I actually did a job working with my grandparents. And here it is as just this little hole in the wall style, part convenience store, part fast food thing in the campground. And we had lots of different fast food options and everything like that, but my grandmother insisted on making sure that there was at least something there that was a nice, well-cooked homemade meal. And it was extremely, compared to everything else, extremely gourmet-ish in the way that it always came off, because it was very tasty, took a lot of effort to prepare, but she still went every way to make sure she always prepped it. Whether it was like something like a tilapia with vegetables and potato, or something like that. Roast beef, I think, was another one time. And of course, she was planning these meals and having them all prepped and ready to go. And meanwhile, there were a lot of people that started getting to know her and talking to her, and she'd spend just as much time outside the kitchen, almost setting up her own counseling sessions at the picnic tables outside and everything like that, talking to a lot of people that came by. And they just enjoyed talking with her. I think a lot of people needed it. And she was always there to talk with them. They really seemed to appreciate that.
I think I'll jump in next then, since we're on the grandkid roundup. And I'll just quickly add on to what Max said earlier about Easter. Damn, some of those eggs were incredibly hard to find, though. Like, she put the extra mile in for some of those, to the point that I remember a commonality was counting up the Easter eggs at the end and having to figure out which ones were Easter eggs from not just last year, but previous years that had finally surfaced. Or And I remember this was a thing that didn't just happen outside either. I remember we found a couple eggs just like in really weird compartments in furniture that was barely used whenever we did indoor Easter egg hunts at the house there. And yeah, I remember that quite fondly. And I don't think I'll ever be able to look at an Easter egg hunt the same way without thinking of the good old playing is this year's egg or from 2012? Let's find out once we finally figure out which number 362 this is. So but yeah, the story, I have one specific story that I'm just going to focus on that is not necessarily quite as sweeping or emotional as everyone else, but it's one that I just always remember for some reason. And I remember, I can't remember the exact reason why, but my mom had dropped me off at my grandmother's place. And it was just myself and my cousin Maddie. And it was just us there. I know Tato was doing something. PJ was at work. Everyone was gone. It was just us. So we had no car, no nothing, and this was like in the early 2000s. So like I'm pretty sure you guys still had dial-up back then. So there was nothing to do. And I remember cousin Maddie wanted to go to the park, and I'm pretty sure it was like the dead of summer. So it was like the good old classic Ontario, like 35 degrees before humidex, and then it's like Death Valley temperatures once you start getting the humidity in there. So naturally, being the responsible adult, my Baba was like, haha, no, we're not going outside. Outside is a no-go. But I do remember, much to my mom's chagrin, we ended up making our own indoor little play set with just a bunch of stuff that her crafty brain managed to come up with. And we ended up making just a good old Mark I slide out of an ironing board, and I think it was a couple stacked heavy boxes with just like a bunch of stuff in them to stop the ironing board from moving. And that was it. And that kept us entertained for like a solid afternoon until my mom finally came around to pick us up. But yeah, I just, that will always stick out in my mind. I remember everyone was talking about how crafty she was with words, but she was crafty in about every way possible. And yeah, that's a memory I'll never forget. And that's all I have to say about that. So if anyone else has any memories that I've rustled.
Sorry for jumping in. I got Mike on your phone. He like to say a couple things. Okay, Mike.
Yeah, I remember them stories that Yvonne would tell you, and you had a lot of goofy laughs, and she would help everybody that she could. That's it. And I'm sorry to hear about it.
But we will make sure she will be in our hearts, right? She always will be in our hearts.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
Okay. That's it, guys. Thank you.
I guess I'll jump in. I'm not much of a talker. I haven't been well very for the last little bit. I'll do my best. It's like Juanita said, always enjoyed going to Aunt Yvonne's and always having, she always liked using her fine china, she said. And the last memory that we had was just before COVID.
And Uncle Peter, you made the best toast. It was the best lunch we ever had. We really enjoyed it. And Yvonne said, you know, it's not much of a lunch, but hope you enjoy it. And we did. We sat in the dining room, the little table right by the window. We could see the horses. And it was the best tea and toast and homemade jam that we had. Thank you so much for those wonderful memories. We love you.
Oh, the master wants to speak. Hold on.
Okay. Now, this, when Anne Marie mentioned about the barbecue, and this just reminded me of a little thing that that Yvonne said, that I said, well, I'm gonna start a barbecue. She says, oh, it's too early yet. And then we were talking for a while, and then she turns around to me and she says, did you park the styre yet?
Instead of start the fire,
Yeah.
park the styre. Yeah.
Park the styre.
I think, I don't even mean to take over this, but I think the other thing that Yvonne gave me and my family was how to play dominoes. And we bought, Amanda and Jan went for a visit and probably an overnight visit, I'm not sure. And Uncle Peter and Aunt Yvonne taught them how to play dominoes. And we, since then, have all bought the huge tin of dominoes and played that chicken feet dominoes. And
Oh,
so
wow.
so much fun, and something from the oldest of us to the youngest of us can play together. So it's one of those things that we do often, and started at your house, Uncle Peter.
Haven't played chicken foot in a long time.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot now.
Can't read it, Bob. What does it say? Hi, fella.
I have something I can read for you. Life is just a stepping stone, a pause before we make it home, a simple place to rest and be until we reach eternity. Everyone has a life journey, a path to take with lots to see. God guides our step along the way, but we never meant to stay. Our final destination is a place filled with love, His majesty and grace. Today we celebrate the life of a loved one who has gone before us, the race she has won. Her journey has now ended, her spirit has ascended, claiming the great reward with Jesus our Lord. The aunt we love remains with us, for love itself lives on, and cherished memories never fade because a loved one's gone. Those we love can never be more than a thought apart, for as long as there are memories, she'll always be in our heart. It's beautiful.
So true.
So true.
We have another story in the chat here that I'm going to go ahead and read if that's good with everyone. Unless Juanita, do you want to continue?
No, go, you, I'll let you do it.
I'll give your voice break for a bit so that we're not all relying on you to be the text to speech engine for the session. So Lisa says, I used to love when she came home to visit. I always thought that she looked like a movie star. Later on, when I had my daughter Melody, and I told her that my aunt was coming to visit, Melody would say, I hope it's the fancy one coming. Melody saw what I saw, a woman with so much grace, love, and compassion. I will always think about you, my beautiful aunt. Love you so much. And Yvonne, look after my beautiful grandmother, Lisa. Would anyone else like to go? If not, I think that starts to bring us towards the end as we start to wrap things up here. If anyone has anything else, just chime in and I'll get the cane and pull myself out of the Zoom stage. And Amanda is actually here now. She says, hi, everyone. Paige and I are joining in from Helsinki. I have so many memories of Aunt Yvonne, but I think what stands out the most is I always felt so loved and treasured by her, and I will miss her always. And I think that's a sentiment that everyone kind of feels here, is that she was larger than life, larger than love itself, and truly an unforgettable person that has touched not only everyone in this family in some way that's completely inexplicable by words. Things and words will never be able to properly describe the kinds of feelings and kinds of acceptance that you got from her. And I think just the amount of people showing up today and the vastness of stories across time and distance has shown just how special of a person she was, and the fact that she might technically be gone onto the next plane, but the echoes of her presence will resonate now and forever after in everyone on this call and everyone 2, 3, 4 steps away from that person, because of just how influential and what an amazing person she was.
She was.
Will you get your way with words there, dear nephew, from her, or what? Like, thanks. Trying to keep it straight here, brother. Yeah.
Someone had to get the good genes.
Unfortunately, Mac, she would say that same thing to each and every one of us. And I know she loved all of you guys dearly, but she would always find the best in each of us. And I thank you, Niall and McCallum and the other grandchildren for bringing this together. I was having such a hard time because I just find that at first it just felt like she disappeared, and how could that be? But getting together and talking about her today has made me feel a lot better. Thank you.
That's you totally took the words out of my mouth too, because it does feel like she just sort of just disappeared. And I always think that when I go over there, I'm going to still see her sitting on the couch. But thank you for sharing, because this really does help. And also, as I said, I'm looking forward to when we can safely gather so that we can really, really have one humdinger of a send off for her. So in the way that she would have probably loved it. So
Yeah.
it's going to be good food there for sure.
Better be.
She would have loved this too. I think back to her birthday when we all got together, and that was a wonderful event too, and she would have loved that we did this today too.
Can I just jump in real quick? Graham would like to say something about Miles. Thanks, Yvonne. Hi, Graham.
Hi,
Can everybody hear?
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Every time Miles would come home, he was your first one. He had the phone with her.
Kitty,
And I asked him not long ago, she's born him where he's living now. And she sang him a hymn. And I said to him, what hymn did she sing you? And she says, Jesus loves me. Jesus loves me, yes, I know, for the Bible tells us so. Little ones to him belong, they are weak, but he is strong. Yes, Jesus loves me, the Bible tells me so, and I love you too. And every time he came home, he had the phone.
you're too young, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that song very well. We used to sing that song a lot too. That's a very special song.
Got yourself muted. Now it's unmuted. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
No trouble.
Hear me. Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm the sister that your mother had from another mother.
Mother.
They always called me. I'm her sister from another mother. God love her.
Really?
If I can get through this.
Oh, yeah.
I've known Yvonne since day one, growing up with her in Newfoundland. Hi, Peter.
Hi there.
But through the years, we didn't see each other. This last 10 years, I guess we've got back to seeing each other and visiting her. And this last time when she was in the hospital, I guess I talked to her practically every day when I was at Rosie's, or we FaceTime on the Facebook. I'm sure gonna miss her because she was one hell of a beautiful person. Beautiful, beautiful person she was. Everybody loved her. And I certainly did, and I will miss her. I always ask about her when I went to Rosie's, or if I phone, I always ask about her. All you girls are beautiful. All of you, Brenda, Goldie, the whole gang of them. And Bobby, you're beautiful too. I love you.
I'm glad you said that.
Naya, PJ, Peter, you're all, I guess, going through a hard time right now. You lost a beautiful person in your life.
You did.
But we'll meet again one day, for sure. Take care, everybody, okay?
Thanks for
Love,
the.
love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna sign out right now. So until we meet again, love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you.
Bye, Uncle Bob.
Hi.
And no, I'm not making you dinner. Mine is not
I was just
good,
gonna say
remember?
it, Brenda. He's on his way over.
Brenda, you are a good cook.
You like the beans.
Not as good as Yvonne.
No,
Oh, she
you're
was
right.
a good cook. I gotta disagree with you there. But then
Yeah.
all of us newfies are.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, brother. Something happened to me here.
It's Uncle Ed playing on his computer.
Bye, everybody. Everybody listen to the stories.
Bye,
Okay.
Brandon. Bye,
Bye.
Uncle.
Love you
Bye,
guys.
Tammy.
Love
Take
you.
it easy.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. You all
Love you
take
guys.
care.
Bye, PJ. Love you, PJ.
Love you too, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Uncle Peter.
There we are.
Thank you.
Love you. Bye.
Nadine,
I will let everybody know where this is posted. We'll get it
Right.
posted somewhere. So if, anybody that missed it, they can watch it, okay? All right.
okay, yeah,
And Darren has already posted the video.
is he?
Oh,
Yeah,
did
it's posted on the invite, the private invite page on Facebook, okay?
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Love you.
Niall.
That's good. Thank you. Thanks, Niall.
you,
Love
guys.
you, Niall. Love you, PJ,
Yeah,
Peter.
thanks, you too. Yeah.
I'm here if
Hey,
you're
Norma.
needy.
Hi,
Hope you're feeling better,
Hi,
Norma.
Bobby.
Hopefully soon.
Amanda.
Yeah. Love you all.
I'm so glad that you guys were able to do this and that we could join in. We're
Oh, listen to that voice.
hello.
Oh, Amanda.
Halfway around the world, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're in Helsinki and we just got to the hotel, so that's why we were late, but we're so thankful that we were able to join in at the end there.
Well, that's good.
Nice.
And we've recorded it. So when at your leisure, you can watch what you missed. There was some good
Perfect.
stories. Yeah.
Maybe I'll see if I can download it because I have an 8-hour flight.
Yeah. Yeah. We're so proud of you, Paige. My love.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
So
are.
proud of you.
Yeah, we
That's
are.
good.
Yeah. So we're very thankful, but I am going to sign off because this is a lot of data from around the world.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, hon.
Love you guys
Love
all.
you.
Okay.
Love
Travel
you.
safe. We'll see you
We
soon.
will. Talk soon.
Okay.
And with that, I'm also going to just go ahead and end the recording in the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you everyone once again for coming out. I don't think I can say much more than love you all. And yeah, this was awesome.
Great. Thanks, Michaela.
Okay, love you.
Love you all. Okay. God bless
Bye.
everybody.
Bye, girl.
Okay.
PJ,
you.
Uncle Peter, Niall. Love you.
Bye.
Oh.
Yeah.